There was nothing down here saying it's a restricted area.
What do you want?
I was taking some pictures and stuff. I'm making a little video of the area. Local force. That sort of stuff.
Purpose?
Pardon?
For what purpose?
Public interest.
To go where?
Pardon?
To go where?
Well, for public.
You're quite clearly filming us at the moment.
Yes, yeah. I film any interaction. Have you two police officers, are you?
Yes.
Have you got your warrant cards with you there since you're not in uniform? Pardon?
I've got to walk out of a police building, aren't I? So
Yeah. But you're obviously doing a stop and account with me, so I'd like. Well, you are. You're asking what I'm doing, which is by definition a stop and account. You're asking what I'm doing in an area. That's a stop and account. So if you're engaging in a policing activity, I'd like to know your warrant card. Otherwise, I'm just going to disengage from you and carry on with my business.
Okay.
All right then. All right. Refusal to identify. I'm just going to get your picture so I can report you to your chief constable. Cool. Bye-bye.
There's nothing here saying this is a restricted area. The auditor calmly explains he's taking pictures and making a video in the public interest, but the officer immediately demands a purpose. For what purpose, he asks, as if being in a public space requires permission. The auditor points out the obvious. The officer is questioning him about what he's doing in the area, which by definition is a stop and account. If you're engaging in policing activity, especially out of uniform, transparency matters. When asked to produce a warrant card, the officer resists. The auditor makes it clear, identify yourself properly or he will disengage. The officer walks away muttering about refusal to identify. But here's the key point. The public doesn't have to identify themselves in a casual encounter, while officers exercising authority absolutely do.
Hey mate, you alright?
Not bad. How are you?
How's it going? What are you up to?
That's, as you see, just taking some pictures and out of your cars and out there.
Oh, okay.
That's all. And you are, sorry?
Police officer.
And your collar number?
Are you an auditor, or are you?
And your collar number, please?
I have to give you my collar number. My identification is on my shoulder there.
And then if I can't read, it's not your policy to identify for members of the public?
I don't need to.
No, it's not identified.
In the next interaction, another officer approaches in a far calmer tone. Hey mate, you alright? That's how professional engagement begins. The auditor again keeps it simple and direct. Police officer, your collar number. No hostility, no drama, just accountability. Identification is not a personal attack, it's a basic safeguard. When officers are open and clear from the start, the tension drops immediately.
Does this cause issues, or you just have a
No,
chat?
I'm just here to take pictures and that's all. As I said, I've just noticed as I was walking down to take pictures, your colleague's window was open, I could see the screen, made them aware of it.
Okay, that's. Have they sorted that?
Yeah, they closed the window,
Okay.
fine. Yeah, it's so simple as that.
Cool. Okay, we're not here to cause you a problem. I'm sure you're not here to cause a problem. We're just,
You know, your colleagues not in uniform refuse to identify while engaging in a policing activity. Not fantastic, is it? It's against policy. You are required to identify. You're engaging in a stop and account. You are required to identify. Because if I have any complaints, how am I supposed to make that complaint if you haven't kept yourself to the accountability standards that the force requires? So, you know, again, you refuse to identify properly because, again, you don't know that I can read, so you're refusing to identify properly. Yes, you're in uniform, but again, if I want to make a complaint against you,
you can give the time and date and where the location where you are. My body cam's recording, so
is it?
It can all be.
How come it's taken you this long to let me know that your body cam's recording?
I'm talking.
And is the policy not to, at the first most practical opportunity to allow that?
That was the most practical time to inform you.
Was it? So, because you come in and gone hands-on with me?
I haven't gone hands-on.
Exactly, so why is not the first thing that you say, good afternoon or morning?
What you're doing, because that's the first question I asked you, and then we've had a conversation, and now I've told you.
Yeah, but the first most practical opportunity is to say, good, by the way, you are being recorded.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could be covertly recording me under the Regulations of Investigatory Powers Act, couldn't you?
When asked to identify himself properly, one officer claims that pointing to his collar number is enough and that he isn't obliged to say more. But that argument falls apart quickly. If the number is too small to read, partially covered, or the person isn't close enough to see it clearly, then silently gesturing at it is not sufficient. Clear, spoken identification isn't optional, it's essential for transparency. People need accurate information if they later wish to challenge or follow up on the encounter. Accountability only works when identification is clear and accessible.
But that's not happening, so don't worry about that.
It could, because it took you X amount of time to alert me when there was plenty. The only situation where it's not practical at the first opportunity is if you're going into a hands-on situation.
Is it?
Any other time, there's no reason. And this has been dealt with in the tribunal by the tribunal that deals with the REAPER Act. The first most practical opportunity is when you approach somebody. If you have your camera on or you turn it on, if you approach with your camera on, you should alert them when you approach, unless you're going hands-on. If you turn it on whilst engaging in a conversation, you should turn it on, and then once it's recording, so it's stated on the camera, by the way, you are being recorded for my safety and your safety, blah, blah, blah. You have the right to do it, same way that I have the right to do it. It's not a problem. It's the notification that's the problem.
Okay.
You know.
But I've notified you at a time that I think is practical, so I've done that, so it's fine.
Okay, you can justify that to a tribunal. It's fine, no worries.
So what are you doing?
So you're going to try to identify yourself properly yet?
No, I'm happy.
You're happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to identify yourself, or would you like a complaint as well, sir?
Sir, can I ask you a question? Before my
I-
colleague steps in, just can I? So my name is PC2376.
Thank you, so that's how it's done, thank you.
My colleague here was obviously made aware that the window was open.
Yeah.
And he's got concerns because of data protection and that you might have recorded something on your phone from the screens.
If there is anything, I'm not sure if there is or not. If anything is captured on there, that will be evidence for me to report that to the Information Commissioner's office, because obviously the onus of data protection is on the organisation, not on whoever sees that
You don't
information.
expect someone to stick their head through the window.
I didn't stick my head through it. I didn't
and
stick my
that.
head through it.
Later, the officer admits he has been recording but claims there hadn't yet been a practicable opportunity to inform the auditor. That explanation simply doesn't hold up. They were standing there in a calm, routine conversation, no urgency, no physical struggle, no chaos. Nothing prevented him from stating plainly at the beginning, "I'm recording." This wasn't about timing, it was about attitude. Dismissing that expectation undermines public trust and shows a disregard for basic policy and accountability standards.
No, I saw it
just
from
wanna
a
make sure
public
because
place.
somebody else's information, this is a secure site. Well,
I understand that.
it's not as secure as we'd like
Well,
it
no,
to
exactly.
be.
It's not secure at all, is it? Really?
No. We are trying to work on that, but unfortunately, you have to do with what you've got to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Even a bit of signage saying no unauthorised access beyond this point would go a long way, because I do respect signs like that.
No,
you know.
okay. I will take
But
that
I did
to
have a
the
look around,
senior-
and there is
I will
nothing
genuinely
there.
take that to the senior leadership team because
Fantastic.
I think that is fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are trying to redo everything. Yeah,
Okay.
Financially, we have to wait until the
That's
budget.
right, it's quite a
and
small
everything,
town,
and
isn't it?
it's-
Lower
exactly,
priority.
you know
Yeah,
what
I
mean?
get it, yeah.
We get shoved right to the bottom type
Yeah.
of thing. We're right on the borders,
Yeah.
between different forces and that. So it is totally. I understand where you're coming from, and I'll pass it on to the senior leadership
Thank
team.
you, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I've just got concerns about the data protection that's on that video. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's somebody else's private stuff and that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we obviously learn from things like that. So you've pointed it out. They've closed the window. It is
Fantastic.
really hot in there. We've got no air
Again,
conditioning.
I completely understand that,
You know
but
what I
obviously
mean?
data protection takes priority over that, unfortunately. You can get a fan in there, and I understand, I've worked in many various
That's what I'm
locations
more
where health and
concerned
safety
about,
data
what's
protection takes
being
priority
recorded.
over
Does
that.
that go live? Is that a live?
I'm not live streaming, no.
If there is something, would you delete that?
Not necessarily delete it, but I would make it anonymous. I would blur it out if there is anything, if I were to post it anywhere.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
it's not their fault. You know what I mean? It's the
No, of course. I've raised the issue. I've raised the
Exactly.
issue of data protection, and obviously I
Absolutely.
raise it as an issue because I do see it as an issue.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
going to go share that information. That would be very hypocritical of me,
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
if there is anything captured on the camera, it won't be made available to the public. It will be forwarded to the ICO.
That's fine. Yeah. Can I
part of evidence.
take your details?
No, I'm
Can I
okay,
can I
thank
take
you.
your name?
No, I'm
please?
alright,
Just
thank you.
first name so I know who I'm speaking to.
No, I'm alright, thank you.
So you've got my calling number, but I can't take yours.
Yeah, but as a Crown servant, obviously you have issues of accountability when dealing with members of the public, and
And
that's
I'm just
why.
being
And that's why.
polite
Yeah, I
asking
know.
your first name.
I
I
know.
don't even know
I know.
anything
But then
else, so I
obviously
know who I-
that coupled with my image, which obviously he's notified me he's recording.
Yeah, obviously we do that because I'm open and honest. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
We record things so that you can see what we do.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can
Absolutely,
see,
I
you know what
completely
mean?
agree
So-
with the use of body cameras.
because
Completely.
That's the thing is that I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
hide saying, "Oh no, I didn't say this to this man," or "This man didn't say anything."
No,
to me."
exactly the same
That
reason
is
why I record any interaction I have with you as
Yeah,
well.
that's why we record everything. I have to
yeah.
protect my back. Because
Of
the amount
course.
of people have said we do things,
Of
and
course,
we don't.
Yeah.
You know
but
what I mean?
with your collar number and that, obviously, you're bound. You have to identify. You did
Yeah,
it correctly
you can see,
verbally
I mean,
because you
when
can't
you film,
guarantee
there's
that
my
I
collar
can
number
read.
there, you know what I mean?
But you have to wear that for
2376.
accountability reasons. That's why I'm entitled to have that, because you're dealing with a member of the public in a
Absolutely.
stop and account situation. Accountability, you have to identify yourself for that exact reason,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
he doesn't seem to understand. And sorry, we got interrupted. Would you like the opportunity to identify?
4988 PC Biffin.
Sorry, what was-
PC Biffin.
and your collar number, please?
4988.
4988. There you go. Thank you. Would you like another opportunity?
No, I'm fine.
No, you're fine. Okay, so you're just going to be an absolute idiot
No,
about it.
At one stage, another officer attempts to shift the blame onto the auditor, suggesting he shouldn't have been filming visible data through a vehicle window. But under the Data Protection Act, the legal responsibility lies with the organization controlling the data, not a member of the public who happens to see it. If sensitive information is left exposed in public view, that constitutes a data breach. The camera isn't the problem, poor data security is. Public visibility removes any reasonable expectation that the information is protected.
Well, I mean, you
He's
are.
got other jobs and that, and you know, we have to rely
Yes,
on
but
that.
you have a collar number for the specific reason, as we've just heard us discuss, for accountability reasons. You're making a very large assumption I have the ability to read that my eyesight is good enough to read that.
These two officers are identified, and if you do
Yep.
need my details, they can be.
Okay, that's still,
when you make your complaint,
again, that's not
fine.
your policy,
Okay,
so that's fine. I'll make a complaint to your
Okay,
chief
not a
constable,
problem
that's
at all.
not a problem.
Not a problem
Actually, I'll
at all.
probably go straight through the IOPC, because otherwise it goes to your
Yeah,
local
that's-
PSD and
that's
gets kicked
not-
down and
yeah, I
disregarded.
appreciate that, that's not a problem
Yeah,
at all. If you
no
just do
worries.
that, that's absolutely
Just get a
fine.
nice picture of your face as well, so I can just make sure that goes to the right person.
Yeah, no problem.
Is there anything else I can
Lovely.
help you with today, sir?
No, I said, you know, obviously, I've made the issue of that window, and I've made that aware.
Which I'm literally going to go speak to my inspector.
Yeah, and that's fantastic.
When it came to identification, the other officers managed to remain professional and cooperative. They identified themselves without hesitation when asked. But this particular officer had multiple opportunities to handle the situation with basic courtesy and accountability, and instead he doubled down. That dismissive, ego-driven attitude, as though the rules apply to everyone else but not to him, is exactly the kind of behavior that slowly erodes public confidence. Trust isn't destroyed in one dramatic moment. It's chipped away by small acts of arrogance like this.